That is our governor detailing for the past hour our plan to reopen Nevada, welcome back visitors to our state on a safe aspect. The big take home, as we'll recap, Denise, students will not return for the remainder of the academic year. They are working on those plans to continue with the virtual learning for the rest of the academic year. We are seeing fewer cases and deaths than predicted because of the social distancing. Everything you are doing at home, folks, to stay home for Nevada is working and saving lives. We have started to reach a plateau, but nothing to indicate, Denise, a significant decline.
Right, Kirsten, and one of the big takeaways is that he's very hopeful. He likes these numbers. They are promising numbers, but when we do reopen, he wants it to be what he quoted was sustainable, not to reopen and then take 2 steps back if we take 1 step forward. 2 key things that he wants to see is expanded testing and more contact tracing. Until he sees more of that, he really wouldn't offer us a hard date as to when we might reopen our state, but you could almost hear collectively all the parents like, there's not going to be school. What am I going to do for the rest of the year? And that's still a lot of things that we need to unpack during this more than hour-long press conference the governor held tonight.
And we're going to go now to Vanessa Murphy live, who will continue to break down his speech for us. She has the very latest. Vanessa?
Yeah, and as you mentioned, there is no date for the reopening of the state of Nevada, but what we do know is schools will remain closed for the rest of the school year. Now, the governor and his team provided some data. They say Nevada is starting to reach a plateau, but there is no significant decline in cases. They say social distancing, as you mentioned, kept us from reaching much higher numbers of deaths and positive cases than the models predicted. Also, Governor Sisolak says the emergency is not over, but it has entered a new phase. Again, no date for the reopening of the state of Nevada. But here's what Governor Sisolak said about schools remaining closed. Also, you'll hear from the Nevada State Superintendent.
In alignment with the federal government criteria and after extensive discussions with Superintendent Ebert, I've made the difficult decision to continue educating our students through distance learning for the rest of this school year.
I want to note that while our students will not be returning to school buildings, the school year is not yet over. This announcement encourages us to double down on our efforts, strengthening our delivery of distance education and promote equitable access to resources for all of our learners. We can all be proud of the ways our districts and schools have continued to serve our students, not only through distance education, but by also ensuring that our students have access to food services as well as the much needed social and emotional support.
Now, we heard about phase 1, the governor and his team preparing for phase 1 of slowly reopening the state of Nevada. Now, for people, they kind of broke it down into groups, but for people, what we heard is they will want them to wear masks in public. They would want the vulnerable individuals to shelter in place, so remain shelter in place, and no socialization of groups of more than 10 people. Now, for employers, some businesses will be allowed to slowly reopen. Bars will not be one of them. They said bars would remain closed. Also, they would encourage employers to allow employees to work from home. So phase 1, still we don't have a date, but what we've learned is life will be very different for many of us. Again, no date, but schools will remain closed for the rest of the school year. Reporting live, Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.